Hi, my name is Kelly Walling, and I'm here today to discuss the 10 core competencies and how I relate them to my field. I'm at the Brain Injury Association of South Carolina. We are a nonprofit organization where we provide resources to TBI survivors, caregivers, and other professionals throughout the entire state. So when they call in, a caregiver or survivor or a professional they call in, we get kind of information on what the case is about, what happened, what they're doing now, have they received help in the past, and we come up with the best resources that would be available to them. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with the competencies. For the first one, identify as a professional social worker and conduct oneself accordingly. I do this by arriving to the field on time, whether it's at the office or a different event or a different where we're having a meeting. I make sure that I arrive on time. I also dress in a professional manner. So depending on what I'm doing, if it's a different event that's out of the office, or if it's in the office, or if it's a meeting, I dress appropriately and accordingly. I also relate what we're talking about in class to what I'm doing in field. So different ethical issues that we've talked about, I kind of make sure I try and relate to what I'm doing in that to field. For competency 2, apply social work ethical principles to guide professional practice. So I use the NASW Code of Ethics whether making decisions on any ethical issues that come up. I fortunately haven't had any this semester, so I haven't had to rely too heavily on them, but who knows for next semester. For competency number 3, apply critical thinking to inform and communicate professional judgments. So I do this by attending different committee meetings that they have, and kind of paying attention to what they're talking about, what's going on, changes are made throughout the organization. Engage diversity and difference in practice. So I do this by attending the support group meetings that they have each month, and actively listening to what their stories are and what they're going through, because their brain injury is specific to them. For competency 5, advance human rights and social and economic justice. I do this by attending different events that they have going on. So I attended the Splash Bash that they have, the Head and Spinal Cord Injury Association has every year. I also will attend Disability Advocacy Day in March, which is also Brain Injury Awareness Month and Social Work Month. Engage in research, inform practice, and practice inform research. So I do this by staying up to date on TBI information, listening to webinars, any information that's put out through the CDC. They actually just put something out about mild TBIs, so just staying up to date on the different information, because brain injury is always changing. For 7, apply knowledge in human behavior and the social environment. So I will kind of focus using the ESPERT framework to shape my assessment skills. So we have an INR, which is interview and referral, that we have for each client that calls in, and I will kind of use that to shape how I do that assessment. For 8, engage in policy practice to advance in social and economic well-being and to deliver social work services. So I just would do this by collaborating with other agencies and making sure that current information is up to date. So I collaborated with DHEC to make sure that their website information on TBI was up to date. I also collaborated with the Brain Injury Leadership Council to kind of make sure that their website information was up to date as well. For 9, respond to contexts that shape practice. So I do this by attending the Brain Injury Leadership Council meetings and the awareness and prevention meetings that they have. I also will do this by collaborating with my field preceptor and improving my INR skills. For 10, engage, assess, intervene, and evaluate with individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. So this is basically just making sure that I improve constantly on my interview and referral skills. I do this by collaborating with my field precept instructor and staying up to date on current resources that we're using, pamphlets, different stuff, and making sure that I know what the different agencies and professionals that we work with do. Whether they're a psychologist, a neurologist, a lawyer, whether it's DDSN or whatever the agency may be or professional they do. I just make sure that I stay up to date on that as well. So that way I can provide the best information to the clients.